Independence is strength. Collective independence is power.
Peace, peace, peace. I'm QueenAssata from AntiIndustry. This is Just Facts. Today on the show, we got Vin Rock.
Hey.
Vin Rock from Naughty by Nature. You already know.
How y'all doing?
We just wanted to get his opinion on a couple of things. You already know that the show is about hip-hop facts in the industry and out the industry, current, past events. So we just wanted to ask Vinny a couple of questions today.
Cool.
What do you think about the current state of hip-hop? Like, where is it?
I think the current state of hip-hop, man, it's kind of lost its footing a lot from when we grew up. You know, I'll be 44 years old this year, and we grew up in the 80s, you know, where there was a lot of variety in hip-hop, a lot of consciousness, from Public Enemy to KRS-One to the Black Watch movement and, you know, X-Clan and all of this. It was like, even for me growing up as a teenager in the 80s, I learned a lot about black culture, black history, black, you know, self-containment because of those groups, especially KRS-One. You know, he was the teacher. He taught me about myself and our ancestors. And I think right now it's like hip-hop has evolved into this gangster paper chase cash grab business, you know. So consciousness, morals, everything is gone out the window, and people are looking at hip-hop as a shortcut. They're saying throw out traditional education, throw out, you know, formal anything. It's just like, you don't need any of that. I could just run the hip-hop and come up.
I agree. You know, I'm not an 80s baby. I ain't as crazy old. I'm 23, but I was born in 91. And I always hung out with people that was like much older than me. So like coming out the womb, I'm singing. I'm like headed for self-destruction. Like right now, my ringtone is "Fuck the Police," NWA. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I've never kind of like went with the crew. I mean, after Biggie and Pac, I just kind of really fell back off of hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Like after them, to me, it hasn't been no good music since. Like,
right. And you know what? I was just talking to one of my buddies on my way here. He was telling me that his son is just into old school hip hop, you know? And you know, a couple of my friends, a couple of my peers are like, "Oh, my kids are just into the old school hip-hop for some reason." I'm like, you know what, music is universal. Music is something that touches people's hearts, minds, and soul. So no matter what age you are, if some of today's music, if that's supposed to be your music and your generation's music, and the kids are kicking it back, then that's letting you know, like, it's not real music. It's not good music. There's no real substance to it.
And you know, we don't want to sound like we old, because you know how when our music was out, the old folks was like, "Oh, that's not real music," you know what I mean? And then the kids got their music. But I feel like even our stuff, it still had a positive message, and that's what it's all about. Anything that's promoting negativity shouldn't be allowed, period. I don't care what era or genre it is, you know what I mean?
Well, I think, you know, some of the music, like even NWA, you know, it speaks to what's happening in those neighborhoods. So I believe there should always be a variety, but when you have just this singular content and this singular vibe, that's when it's dangerous, you know? Because, you know, even though in the 80s when all of that consciousness was going on, a lot of people weren't aware of what the cops and the police were doing to our kids in LA. So it was NWA that created that awareness with saying, "Fuck the police, come look and see what's going on in South Central," you know? And that opened up that can of worms. But I think because of their success and coming into the late 80s, early 90s, you know, in our age, I mean, you know, a lot of people took that gangster rap mentality, and on top of the siege of drugs and guns in our community, you know, that became the voice of hip-hop music. And now it's like, well, the violence is there and it's all about swag rap now. Oh, I have all of this money, and everything right now is about the strip club, you know. Any hit record today it's born out of the strip club. If it doesn't work in the strip club, it's not going to work today. So, you know, that's the danger in the music, and that's the danger in the new kids coming up, because there's absolutely no consciousness in the music. I want to thank you guys for doing the work you're doing at AntiIndustry. So it's not like, you know, hip-hop music or the culture or even the young people of the day are all about this singular negative things. There are a lot of conscious people out there. There's a lot of people who don't agree with what's going on out there. So the only way to combat that is to feed it content. And I commend you guys on the work that you're doing. So you got to keep doing it, keep it up, and keep exposing the young people who are coming up. Producers, poets, you know, hip-hop artists. Give them their time to shine out here as well.
Independence is strength. Collective independence is power.